Hi there. In this video, we will focus on understanding what does regression as a defense mechanism mean, how it can benefit in the short run, how it can create problems in the long run, and finally, how therapists can help clients move beyond this defense to identify and address deeper issues. In order to understand regression, let us begin with a story. 11 years old Raj had to relocate with his parents as his father received a job transfer. Distressed, yet not in a position to oppose this happening, he dejectedly left behind his school and friends. Waking up with great reluctance on the first day of his new school, he finds himself wet in his bed. After quite a few repeated occurrences of the same incident, the parents got highly worried of their child's well-being, for they were completely unaware of the turmoil he was undergoing, and in a way, so was he. Now, any therapist would claim that the little boy was regressing. Regression is nothing but unconsciously reverting back to an earlier stage of development in terms of thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. It is a defense mechanism which is used to deal with current stressors of our life. People usually regress when they find it difficult to address their issues in an age-appropriate manner, or when they feel that they aren't in a position to intervene at all. As in the case of Raj, a middle school age child started wetting his bed like an infant who hasn't received any toilet training because he couldn't bear the anxiety caused by relocation and separation from his peers. Another kind of regressive tendency often seen among children is thumb sucking. Addressing the underlying unmet need in the child usually corrects the regressive behavior. However, children aren't the only ones susceptible to such behaviors. Raj grows up to be a typical 20-year-old who wishes to study abroad. He makes it to his desired college and begins a new life in a new apartment with new people to reside with. However, he finds it difficult to sleep at night and soon shoots off an email to his parents requesting to send his childhood teddy. Highly amused by his request, his parents choose to comply. Raj starts sleeping well, cuddling with his teddy. Regression often helps to meet short-term benefits. Example, sleep, as in the case of a young man here. He copes with the apparent insecurity of his new lifestyle by extracting some sense of protection from his childhood source of safety, his teddy. However, a problem arises when we become dependent on such defense mechanisms and refuse to learn from our new experiences. So, instead of adapting to his new friends and environment by socializing and knowing his way around, if Raj decides to meet his security needs by reverting to an early psychological stage, sleeping with his teddy, that provides immediate soothing, regression becomes a puzzling circumstance. Usually, the mindset behind such exhibits is to unconsciously receive the nurturance and reassurance provided by an adult authority figure that took care of all your hardships faced in childhood. Now, Raj, a 35-year-old, takes up a job and lives with his wife. His boss, an old yet sharp man with graying hair, usually criticizes his work and never shows a sense of appreciation. Unable to take this daily dose of censor and the following pen-chewing sessions anymore, Raj goes back home, curls into a ball of mess and starts crying, rocking back and forth like a baby cradled in his mother's arms. Does his crying like that seem out of ordinary? Indeed it does. This is because our fully grown adult version of Raj is yet again regressing. Regression takes place among adults facing unresolved frustration. Resorting to such behaviors as pen chewing is indicative of fixation that occurs at a particular point in childhood, where our desires have not been gratified or maybe in some cases over-gratified. These disturbances in the normal course of development in Freudian psychology become your safe haven to which you return every time you find yourself in a position where you feel like I can't take it anymore. Each time we feel like we are in a pickle, we feel helpless. Helplessness is a predominant feeling experienced in the early years of life because of our great dependency on our caretakers for almost everything. Hence, under duress, we find ourselves seeking comfort from childlike behaviors that provided us relief back then. As far as therapists and coaches are concerned, it is important to remember that regression is happening at the level of unconscious to protect the client by helping them express the feelings in a childlike manner that they were otherwise not able to express in a mature adult-like manner. Though the client is able to express these feelings, regressive childlike ways don't really help them in resolving the conflict. Therefore, it is important to help the client build skills and mental states that are appropriate for the client to be able to express these feelings in a more appropriate and effective manner that will help the client not only experience temporary relief but also leads to resolution of conflict that led to these feelings. In order to understand the client's behavior and the reasons behind it, the therapist can use Erik Erikson's stages of development model, which attempts to explain why a person regresses to a particular age group when experiencing certain emotions and situations. To help the clients move beyond the defense mechanism of regression through creating awareness, developing skills, and accessing empowering mental states, therapists can use a combination of conscious intervention and planning through effective questioning, regression therapy or inner child therapy, anchoring, and mental rehearsals, also known as future pacing. Through this combination of techniques, the client is encouraged to acknowledge his problem, identify its cause, come up with a solution, and apply the solution to achieve desired outcome. In essence, it is a person-centric approach that also helps develop resilience and adaptive strengths in the client. However, while using regression in psychoanalysis, a therapist needs to be careful about the choice of words. Asking closed-ended questions could lead to creation of false memories, which can create further complications. So it is important to ask open-ended questions during these processes so the client can understand his or her own subjective experiences and is not influenced by any choices provided by the therapist.